All right. Let's see. We got 20 people here. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and get started. As soon as I pull up my agenda, we go. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar, my name is Chester Bokich. I'm the newly elected chair of LD11 Democrats as of last month. Very excited, very honored to be leading this organization and supporting Democrats in our district and doing everything that I can. It is my mission to help us rehabilitate the Democratic brand, which has suffered in recent years, um, by also supporting our community, getting out there and doing what we can to help people in need. While also being seen, there is an unfortunate part of politics where you got to play the PR game. It's not enough to just help people. You got to make sure people know that you're helping. So we got to play that game. With me tonight is, as you can see on the slide there, the rest of my board. Newly elected first vice chair Fern Ward, second vice chair Lindsay Barentine. Apologies, Lindsay. Secretary Shelby Whalen, Treasurer Sadia Afraz, and our newly elected Sergeant at Arms Lisa White. So let's see. Next on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. We can skip to the next slide there, Patrick. Oh, did I not save it? Shouldn't. Oh my goodness. See, this is how unprepared I am. I added the slide after Patrick had started the presentation, so may have to close the presentation and restart it, Patrick. But I added a picture of the American flag so we can pledge allegiance to it and the nation for which it stands. That's the important part. We don't just pledge allegiance to the flag, we pledge allegiance to the nation for which it stands. So I'll go ahead and lead. Everyone, please join in Mike's optional. I pledge allegiance to the flag and the nation for which it stands, one nation, undivided, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Next, um, I have the agenda. Approval of the agenda. Can I have approval of the agenda? I move to approve.
Approved.
Thank you. And approval of previous meeting minutes. Can we share those in the chat? Say team chat. When you have a chance. Okay, we'll move on to officer reports. We'll follow that up with elected official updates, etc. So, what we've been doing um, next. Sorry, Patrick, I have transitions because I was doing this myself last time. True hybrid meetings in person and on Zoom starting next month. We do have a location lined up with Friendly House. We just need to finalize that. And then moving forward, we will be meeting there monthly as well as broadcasting on Zoom for those who can't make it. So you'll have the opportunity to come meet in person and watch on the internet. If you can't come, join us. So I'm excited to have that. We did that last month as well to make sure that everything worked. But moving forward, we'll be sure to share both the location and a Zoom link in our Mobilize invitations. We've increased our PC count. It's now over 80. It's something like 84, 85 PCs in the district. So I'm very excited. Monthly book club meetings. Our next meeting, we are not meeting in December, so our January book is called Deciding to Win Toward a Common Sense Renewal of the Democratic Party. It is 100% free to read online at decidingtowin.org. You can also choose to support them by purchasing a paperback copy for $15 on, unfortunately, Amazon. Regardless of your medium, I hope that you read it and join us. It's only 75 pages. It's a quick read. Next, we've got our monthly happy hours. We are going to continue to do that. We're skipping December because we are having our holiday party, which I'm very excited to share more about shortly. After that, we've been meeting at Tacos Chilongo. We're going to choose a new location soon. I know Tacos Chilongo is on the east side of the district. We're going to try to find a place on the west side and meet there for a while so that we can hopefully get more people to join us from Levine and their parts near. Next, dinner service at Andre House on Sunday was a huge success. That photo that's been on the screen there for a minute, Yasmin Ansari joined us. It was a great time. We served over 500 people. I have chili stains now on my brand new LD t-shirt because we were serving chili to the unhoused. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun. We're going to do that again next month on the 17th. And you can register for that at andrehouse.org, which I think is the next thing that'll pop up there. Patrick, January 17th. Next, register at andrehouse.org. And the last thing was our MCDP listening tour. If you want to click once more, Patrick, we did that last night. That was fantastic. We had over 100 people register on Mobilize and 15 people showed up. So, but sometimes it's the more intimate settings that get better questions. So that was great. Janelle Cavero and Catherine Miranda were both there to answer questions from the public, as well as school board member, elementary school board member Michael Butts, and myself, Patty O'Neill, and Eric Limbs, both from MCDP. So that was fun. Good time. All right, next slide. The holiday party fundraiser. On the 19th from 5:30 to 9. Please register there using the QR code. We're going to have catering from Senor Sushi, sponsored by Michael Nowakowski, an open bar sponsored by Cynthia Estella, desserts provided by County Supervisor Steve Gallardo, and games, prizes, and good conversation, of course, sponsored by Yasmin Ansari, Oscar de los Santos, and Janelle Cavero, our local elected officials and our U.S. representative. So please register. We are hoping to raise funds. So even if you can't make it, we would love for you to register anyway. We're going to need a lot of money to help Katie Hobbs, Adrian Fontes, and Chris Mays get reelected. We got to register voters and then get them to actually go out and vote for the right people. That's not free. So please help us by registering for the holiday party. We're going to have a wine raffle, like I said, sponsored by State Senator Catherine Miranda. So once you register, you can also purchase raffle tickets for some wine. Final slide here. Well, second to final. Shirts are now available for you with a donation of $20. We have multiple sizes, please. This is also for fundraising purposes. My own design on the left, and Patrick, our former chair, designed the LD logo, which is on the back of the shirts. $20 a piece. Represent, go out, help the community, look good doing it, and let people know who you're representing. Our electeds are getting these because they are giving their lives in service of the LD. And those who have already donated to the LD $20 or more this year through recurring donations, I'd be more than happy to provide you with a free shirt as well. Everyone else, please, by all means, donate at you can go to southmountaindems.org, click on the donate link on the right side of the menu, and just shoot an email over to info@southmountaindems.org to let us know that you've donated for a shirt. And we'll get you one at the next meeting, the holiday party, the winter convention, happy hour, whatever it is. The next time we see you, I can even personally deliver one if you can't make it out. But we want everyone to look good and represent the LD. Okay, that I think does it for my chair report. Again, you can register for the holiday party there. And we've got some guests coming up here. But first, let's see. Do any of my officers have anything they would like to report? First Vice Chair Fern Ward, I know you don't like public speaking. Do you have anything you want to share? Anything I missed?
The only thing I would say is the holiday party is at my house. So those of you who know where I live, you know where it's going to be. Those of you that don't, I am in West Laveen. So you know where you're driving to, but please register online so we know how much food we need because we don't want anyone to go home hungry.
Thank you.
End of report. Thank you.
Perfect.
Fern, may I ask you, do you want potluck from us?
No, we are very fortunate. Michael Nowakowski is providing all of the food, and Steve Gallardo is providing all of the desserts. We're covered. And Cynthia Stella is providing alcohol. So actually, all we need is soft drinks. But thank you for asking that.
Dave, if you want to bring some soft drinks, we'll take them.
I'll do that.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
We'll add you as a thank you.
I do not see our second vice chair, Lindsay, on the meeting. She has been busy fighting off pneumonia, so we are praying for her quick recovery. Which brings us to Shelby, our secretary. Do you have anything to report, Shelby?
Just reminding people that if they're interested in the Andre House opportunity, you need to register via the website so they know that you're coming. I'm definitely going to be there. I think you're going to be there, Chester. Another friend of mine is going to be there, and it gives us an opportunity to do something good for the community together. We can represent LD11 as well, but it's essential that the registration be done on their website because they run into waitlisting, and then we don't want to deprive somebody else of a chance for that opportunity. And it really is wonderful. It's from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on that Saturday night. So I hope to see some of you. And that's it.
Had a lot of fun doing it. We chopped vegetables and then we served food for a couple of hours.
You make someone's day.
It was great.
Someone's day.
I saw one gentleman come through for 4 different servings of chili and rice, and
yes.
I was happy to serve him.
Can I just add one thing to that? If you sign up, please show up because they count on you being there once you sign up. And if you don't, there's not enough people to serve these people food, which is not a good situation to be in. So thank you.
Yes, please. If you sign up for that, if you sign up for a happy hour don't show, it's okay. I'll drink your drinks for you. But when it comes to the Andre House, please, if you sign up, show up. Otherwise, we're shorthanded. Okay, Sadia, treasurer report.
Okay. Good evening. Okay, I'm trying to read. I think the video is. So in November, we raised only $207.50, which all came from recurring donors, about 15 people, and screen is freezing. And we spent $257.94. A main portion of our spending was from Safeway for meeting snacks for $117.61, and also bought some prizes for future events. And the rest were monthly expenses. And if you want to be a recurring donor or a one-time donor, we'll share a link. And I'm very excited for the holiday party next month. So if you want to donate for that event, that'd be great, because election season is coming up next year, and we need like money to promote a message to new voters or existing voters. And those flyers and postcards are not cheap. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadia. Yeah, I was told that last year we spent $7,000 on mailers. So we're gonna need that, and if everything goes well with voter registration, I'll let you guys in on a secret. MCDP has helped us acquire a list of 20,000 unregistered voters in our district that we will be texting, calling, and door knocking. If 20,000, if that number is accurate, that's a third of what the registered. I'm sorry, we have 45,000 Democrats in the district. If we added another 10 from that, like that would be huge, right? That would be an amazing thing. And it would also mean a lot more postage stamps. So,
Okay, and I also forgot to add that our ending balance for November 30th was $4,000 and $587.44.
thank you, Sadia. So we're gonna need more money to get those mailers out, guys. Perfect. Okay, and is our Sergeant at Arms on? I don't see her name in the list. Lisa, if you're there, speak up, or we're moving on. Okay. Next is our elected official updates. Do we have someone from Senator Ruben Gallegos' camp on the call? Okay, we'll go. Anyone from Yasmin's camp? Representative Yasmin Ansari have a representative on the call? Andy or Kevin? Okay. County Supervisor Steve Gallardo, are you on the call or do you have a representative? I'm going to go down the list here. Catherine Miranda. Boy, so many commitments to show up for our meeting. Oscar de los Santos or Janelle, either one of you? Maybe they're stuck in committee. That happens. I don't want to shame someone who wants to be here but can't be. Keisha or Anna Hernandez, our city councilwoman. Okay. Oh, I see Mahogany Kennedy is on the call.
Good
Hello, Ms.
morning.
Kennedy.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Constable Kennedy, South Mountain Justice Court. Maricopa County is still ranking #1 with evictions. It is holiday season. This past October, we set yet again another record for eviction filings. If you know early that you are in financial trouble, there are resources that are still out there. Please start early with trying to find resources so that we can avoid eviction filings. That would be very helpful. Attend court. We have made it easy to attend court. You can now attend court online. So we'd love to see your faces and participating with the process. So thank you, Mr. Chester, for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for everything you do. All right. Was there any other, Fern? Do you see any names in the list that we need to call on?
Sandra Kennedy,
Well,
please.
hello.
Sandra,
Oh.
please.
Are you talking to me?
Yes,
Sorry. Oh,
that's okay.
I am the Justice of the Peace of El Centro Justice Court. And just to add on what Mahogany stated, uh, there are resources out there. I have plenty in my courtroom. If there is a way, to get these to anyone, and you can post them, repost, um, it would be extremely helpful because once the litigants are in the courtroom, it's kind of too late, unfortunately, the way the laws are here in Arizona. Um, I spoke to a representative and I told her how it works in Arizona and that you have a mediation after you already were evicted, right? The judgment has been signed. Um, and there are cities out there like Philadelphia where it's mandatory that you have to mediate prior to try to keep you in your home. But if you guys are interested, you can drop any of your information in the chat and I can send you over any info resources that I have because I've been trying to get any and everything that I have out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you provide any of your contact info in case there's anyone who's embarrassed to post their own or doesn't want to post their
Oh,
own?
yes,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for
Hi,
that.
Mahogany.
All right. Was there another Kennedy on the call that wanted to address? I heard there was.
Is Sandra
Is it
Kennedy?
Robert F. Kennedy here to?
I think it's in Fern's background.
That's JFK. All right. Sandra, if you're there and you want to speak, you're muted. Sorry, Sandra.
Yeah, Miss Kennedy,
How was
you were
that?
There we
muted.
go.
So
There you go.
There we
Hello.
go. Hey, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity just to come this evening and say hello. And I had a long conversation with Miss Fern today, and I'm glad to see her back involved in the process. And it's so good to see so many new faces and new names that I just want to give an update. I am a member of the Salt River Project, your SRP board. If you did not know that you get to elect the board members, which is unfortunate. Sometimes if you don't know the process and you don't participate, you find yourselves wondering, why is my electric bill so high? Well, your electric bill is high because there are people on the board who really could care less about the everyday people. They're only concerned about themselves. And the way the process works with SRP is you have to be a landowner. And let me say that again, you have to be a landowner. Just because you receive a bill, just because you are a ratepayer does not mean that you automatically get the opportunity to vote for the very people who raise your rates. We had a pricing process earlier this year, and they voted. And of course, I voted no. And I've been in this fight even as of yesterday with even the subcommittee that I sit on when it comes to financial stability of the company and the pricing process, is to ask them to start rolling back. They're making plenty of money, but instead they chose to give the general manager a raise. And they said basically they really don't care about the ratepayers, even though the ratepayers are the people who keep their lights on, who keep money in their pockets. But if you don't know it, data centers are causing a lot of anxiety to a lot of people and causing anxiety to me because I think data centers need to pull their fair share. They're using a lot of water. The ratepayers are subsidizing the data centers. And I think it's time for the ratepayers to become very vocal and start, expressing how they feel about it. I know that there's a data center going in the SRP territory in the East Valley. Chandler actually is having a meeting at their city council tomorrow night, and I plan to go out. And just so you'll know, I will not be speaking on behalf of SRP, but I will be speaking on behalf of myself and the ratepayers of this service territory, because I think it's a travesty that the rates keep going up and they've overcollected for what they call it's a mechanism to collect, and it's kind of difficult for me to kind of dumb it down to you, but it's a mechanism that they use to over collect when they think that they're not collecting enough money. We call it a FPAM, and it's an acronym. But I tell you, they've been over collecting since November of last year. And I raised the question yesterday, since you have over collected, when are you going to give the money back to the ratepayers? And they're going to look into it. And that's all I hear is they're going to look into it. So I've decided there's going to be an election next year in April. And I have decided to run for president of the board, and I'm going to need 2,000 signatures. And Turning Point USA is in this race. And they are in this race because they think that the board should be controlled by people that they support. So I am hoping that I can get you to help me gather 2,000 signatures. I actually need 1,000 signatures for the board side, and I need 1,000 signatures for the association side in order to run for president. So I hope even if you can't help me get signatures, if you can tell a friend to go to srpnet.com and just register to get a Pebble. That's the only way you're going to get a ballot by mail. You have to go to srpnet.com. So I probably have talked too long, but I thank you for the opportunity. And I'm just glad to be a part of District 11. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sandra. I just dropped the link in the chat for the early voting ballot request form. So even if you're not an SRP customer, that doesn't mean you can't register to vote. The rules are very strange, but fill it out, and at least the worst they can do is send you a letter that says you can't register. I have one because I tried. So please fill it out, try to vote. And if you get a letter saying that you're eligible, awesome. You can vote for Sandra. You can vote for Ken Clark, potentially, depending on which part of the district you live in. All right. Now, is there anyone else before we get to our guest?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
That's
What's up,
me.
Dave?
Mr. Chairman, may I ask Ms. Kennedy a question?
Yeah, please.
Both in reference to SRP and your experience on the Corporation Commission, and you certainly can advise us about APS. When there are requests by either of the utilities for rate increase to take care of especially the artificial intelligence centers that seem to be popping up all around the country, has there been any sort of discussion about actually imposing additional restrictions upon those entities themselves as far as their contribution to the cost? It seems that if an artificial intelligence center is such a large user of electricity, that they should be paying for part of the actual infrastructure costs that are incurred. And right now, it shouldn't seem to be a responsibility, at least in my view, of all the other ratepayers simply to pay for their excessive use of electricity. But I was wondering if there's been discussion in either SRP or the Corporation Commission about imposing that sort of burden.
Well, I can tell you that last week, even though I'm not on the Corporation Commission anymore, last week the Corporation Commission took a vote for Tucson Electric and Power to allow them to allow the building of a data center in southern Arizona, where the people actually did not want it. But I am told that it is a sweetheart deal. Now, the sweetheart deals are not going to the ratepayers. The sweetheart deals are going to the utility provider. That's a problem for me. Now, for SRP, I have every month for the last 3 months, on the first Monday of every month, I ask the question, when are we going to have a discussion about data centers? Number 2, when are we going to look at the amount of water that they're using? We have more data centers in the SRP territory than you could even imagine. The largest one that I know of today that is up and operating, that I think snuck in under the radar, is the one at 40th Street in McDowell, QTS. It has been there operating. I've asked questions about how much water they're using, how much power are they using, and I can't seem to get an answer. But I was told yesterday at our subcommittee meeting that if I put my questions in writing, maybe they could respond to me. Well, I've been on the board now for over a year, and those of you who know me, I can be pretty persistent. And I think I've waited long enough, and I think what my next move will probably be to say something very public that they're not going to like. So we've got to get a handle on this. And I think these companies need to bring in their own technology to power their system. I think that they need to figure out a way to bring in their own water and find a new technology to reuse the water that they're taking out of the ground, because we don't have a 100-year water supply. I have been saying that now for the last 10 years. And we're starting to see that if you just look around at our water sources, look at Lake Mead, look at Lake Powell. The water resources are not there like they used to. And the table is not full like it used to be. So we got a report on last Monday about the water table. And I was just surprised to hear that just at Roosevelt Dam, it's only 48% at capacity. And that's not good. And we have not had a winter where we've had a lot of snow. So if we're not, having cold winters or snowy winters here, our lakes are going to dry up. And I tell you, it's going to happen sooner than later.
Yeah, definitely something we need to all worry about. We've got a question from Deanna Alvarez.
Okay.
Take yourself off mute, Deanna.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I want to know, do you have to be a registered voter in order to sign your petition, Mrs. Kennedy?
You have to be a registered voter and a homeowner.
A homeowner and a registered voter?
Yes, ma'am.
In the LD11 district?
To be clear, Deanna, the SRP elections are separate from our public elections. So you have to register as an SRP voter, separate from registering as an Arizona voter. And you have to be a homeowner in order to register as an SRP voter.
Do you have any type of method, Mrs. Kennedy, to like evaluate where those voters live?
Well, what I did the last go around, we had a very good campaign in January and February of 24. And we got a list of all the homeowners and homeowners with acreage. And we just knocked on a lot of doors. And just so you'll know, you cannot vote in the SRP election if you're not a registered voter. You have to be a registered voter in order to request a ballot, and you have to be a landowner. Okay?
All right. Does that answer your question, Deanna?
Yes. I will be contacting you, Mrs. Kennedy.
Okay.
Fern, did you have a question too or comment?
I do. Thank you. My understanding of it's like the mother conversation type thing. But first of all, as an LD, our entire job is to get Democrats elected. That's basically our only job. We should have fun while we're doing it, but it all has to lead towards getting the Democrats elected. I believe that if nobody, in Sandra's case, it's a nonpartisan race, and we know who her who's running against her, basically. In some of our other candidates who are currently running, if they don't have anybody running against them, I believe they can ask RPCs for help carrying their petitions for them. And I just want to verify that that is correct. And if so, then if anyone who's on the line could then work with Mrs. Kennedy to help her. So mother's speech is done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fern.
Thank you, Fern. And yeah, if TPS or TPUSA is working the other side, then it's partisan. So let's be honest. All right. Do we have any other electeds before we get to our guests?
I see my good friend, County Supervisor, Mr. Guy.
Oh, he's here. Excellent. Let's get him on.
Oh, how you all doing?
Doing great. Thanks for coming.
No, thank you for inviting me. I apologize for being a little late. I just got to the house right now. But no, going back to I'll always call her Commissioner Kennedy. She did a remarkable job on the Corporation Commission, and now she's serving on the SRP board. I voted for the first time in the SRP board 2 years ago for Commissioner Kennedy. I wanted to make sure we have folks there that are like-minded, that are going to be there to represent the constituency within the SRP boundaries. That she has done a remarkable job, and I think as a community, we got as a district and as Democrats, we need to do everything we can to do what we need to do in order to make sure she remains on that board. So good luck, Commissioner Kennedy. Let me know whatever I can do to help. You know, I'm always in your corner, and whatever I can do, I'm with you. I wasn't, and I apologize. Fern or someone can help me. I don't know where in the agenda we are at.
Very close to the end, but we would all like to personally thank you for volunteering to bring the desserts to our holiday party.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
If you want to possibly, maybe you could just go over some things that are going on the county side. I don't think we have any representation at all.
Oh, you bet. You bet. You know, this is we're getting into election year. And so this is where all hands on deck when it comes to our elections, our democracy. It's no secret that our county recorder, our current county recorder, is not a big friend when it comes to early voting, when it comes to allowing all eligible citizens an opportunity to vote. We saw it, and this was interesting. We just canvassed the election in November. This was mostly a lot of school district elections, bond and overrides. We had the hospital districts. Valley Wise had their bond election. I think Phoenix Union had a lot of the school districts had special elections. But one of the things that really came to our attention that there were nearly 6,000 voters who voted by mail and their ballots were disqualified. Now, it ain't just a lone Democrat on the board that is questioning why so many. This is a record number for an election, which a very small voter turnout, unfortunately, but a smaller turnout to have that many ballots thrown out and not counted raises a question: what are we doing differently? What is the county recorder doing different? I should say, what is he doing different? Why so many? Who are these voters? I have been working real closely with the Maricopa County Democratic Party and the state party to really do a deep dive. I know the national DNC looking at a deep dive on who these voters are. Why is it? If you look at how many ballots were thrown out for whatever reason, he's just saying there were questionable ballots, but why so many were thrown out? Coming into a gubernatorial election where turnout will be much higher, a lot more at stake, it really is a little scary. So I think it's important for us to continue to monitor not only the processes that the county recorder now is coming up with. He continues to come up with new processes on how he wants to check early ballots that are coming in. And keep in mind too, one of the things about the county recorder is he's suing the Board of Supervisors, by the way. He wants more authority. But when it comes to the county recorder's responsibilities, one of those things is verifying all the early ballots. So if you're an early ballot voter, he's going to look at it, and his office is going to determine if that ballot is a qualified ballot. It is a process that we have had here in Maricopa County, across the state. All 15 counties do it, where they all verify the signatures, making sure that the ballots or the return envelopes are signed, nothing looks tampered, that the signature, that there is a match. There's a process that leads into multiple verification. But one of the things that was unique in this particular November election was that there were 6,000 voters. Our first analysis that the party has come up with, we come to find out many of those are high efficacy voters. These are voters that voted on a regular basis, and many of them are elderly voters, or a little older voters. And then we have a lot of young voters, particularly if you start looking at those that were 30 and under, and those that are 50 and up. It was almost 65% of the ballots that were disqualified. So right now we're in the process of obtaining more information. We're in the process of looking at it, making our own analysis of who these voters are. Is there a pattern? Are there, more Democrats than Republicans? Are they, Hispanic names? Or who are the voters that got their ballots disenfranchised? And are they aware that their ballots were not counted in this last election? This is the stuff that's really scary. We know this is going to be a close election in November. It really is. Every vote counts. We know the stakes are high. We need to do everything we can to keep our statewide electeds there. We need to do everything we can to ensure our legislative candidates are reelected. We need to do what we can to push back on many of the candidates, or many of the tactics too, that are being placed on our elections. It's going to be an interesting year. I would anticipate that there will be a number of bills introduce this legislation to reduce the availability of early ballots. They want to reduce it. It's no secret. Their plan is to eliminate early voting altogether. They don't like it. They just don't like it. The reason, there's a dirty little secret behind that. And that is because they're not winning when it comes to early ballots. They're not. More folks that are voting early tend to be Democrats and independents, and they're doing everything they can to try to keep this segment of voters from voting. So I would anticipate you're going to see a number of bills introduced this legislative session to do exactly that, make it more difficult for people to vote. I was there in the legislature when many of these bills, similar bills, were introduced. You have folks there in the legislature on the far right that if you do not think like them, look like them, or believe what they believe in, they don't want you to vote, and they will do everything they can to try to stop segments of our community, which tend to be lower income, retirees, people of color, low income voters. These are the voters that they tend to try to work real hard to come up with policies to keep them from voting. And now on top of, our legislative fights, we have a county recorder that will go to no ends to make sure that certain ballots are not counted. And we need to do what we can to really focus on what he's doing, call into question. And if it means taking some of their policies and procedures to court, we definitely want to look at that. But it's really disturbing right now to look at the November election and to know that there are 6,000 voters. 6,000. Honestly, folks, that's unheard of. That is unheard of. That's unheard of to have that many voters disqualified. I would venture out to say, I have no proof on this yet, not yet, but I have no proof. But I would venture out to say that the vast majority of the 6,000 voters that had their ballots turned away were U.S. citizens. There were legal votes. They should have been counted. And for whatever reason, the recorder's office decided not to tabulate their ballots. It has raised eyebrows, not only from political watch folks that watch, the election watch folks just raised an eyebrow on how many ballots were rejected this election. And we need to do everything we can to make sure that come 2026, that every ballot counts. That right now is probably the number one task as a supervisor. And I think, and I'm not the only one. I'm the only Democrat, but there are 4 other Republicans that are looking at that as well. How do we make sure that our elections continue to be safe, secure, and accurate? So that's kind of a task right now we're working on. One of the other things that we really, you're going to see more and more discussions coming about upcoming is the whole Melendez case. Many may be familiar with it. This is the lawsuit that the ACLU filed against Maricopa County and the Sheriff's Office in particular. This was the racial profiling of folks right there in LD11, folks. LD11 was one of the areas in which the Sheriff's Office went in and started racially profiling drivers and questioning their citizenship and so on, violating the constitutional rights of many folks throughout Maricopa County, but particularly in the southwest portion of the valley where many folks were stopped. The Melendez case has been around for a very long time. Yes, it's been very expensive. It's cost taxpayers a lot of money. But I think we're at a point right now where we need to continue to work not only with the Sheriff's Office, the ACLU, but with the courts, the court monitors, to ensure that we are doing everything we can in Maricopa County to ensure that what happened during the Arpaio rain never happens again. It's kind of bubbling up. You're starting to hear more discussions. I know one of the Republican candidates, Andy Biggs, running for governor on the Republican primary, has already brought it up on the campaign trail. He'll probably make it a campaign issue in 2026. But we need to make sure that we have the safeguards in place when it comes to policing. We're not here when I'm not anti-police or none like that, guys. I'm not. I just want to make sure that the dark days of Joe Arpaio never happen again. And the only way we can do that is continue to work together. I continue to have discussions with ACLU. I have discussion with our sheriff's office, and how do we work together along with our monitors as well. How do we work together to ensure that we're in full compliance with the Melendrez court order? And how do we continue to ensure that the framework is there? We've gone a long ways in Maricopa County to ensure that the rights of citizens in Maricopa County are protected, that the days of racial profiling on the streets are not conducted by our sheriff's deputies. They're not. And so we continue to all work together, but those are the two big issues right now in Maricopa County that you're going to see a lot of, especially in 2026. It's all going to be about elections, guys. That's going to be number one thing is elections. And this is a discussion I've had with not only party leadership, I've had with other voting advocacy groups, is we got to be on full alert more now than ever before. I think we're always on alert. We're always watching. We have the monitors. We have the election protection courses, and we have to continue to do that. But we may need to up it up a little. We got someone in the county recorder's office that, for whatever reason, just a month ago, disqualified 6,000 ballots. 6,000. Now this was a small election turnout too, folks. Let's be real. You look at a gubernatorial election where that election is going to be 3-4 times larger. 6,000 times 4, you're looking around 25,000 ballots. I don't think I need to remind folks, how many votes did Governor Hobbs get in order to win? How many votes did our Attorney General Chris Mays receive to be successful? 25,000 ballots, and I'm just kind of guessing. I'm just spitballing here. I'm throwing a number out. 25,000 ballots can change any election, period.
Definitely.
So we need to make sure that every ballot that is cast, that is voted, that it is counted. I think you have a board, and regardless, I'm going to be the one that has the eagle eye and making sure that every ballot that is submitted is counted. We're going to hold his feet to the fire. I want to make sure the county recorder does his job and does it in a way that is fair, respects the state law, the Constitution, and the rights of every voter. It's the most fundamental right we have as citizens, is that right to vote. It's something that cannot be abridged, something that cannot be taken away. And we need to make sure that our county recorder is doing his job. And if he's not, then we need to do everything we can to prevent him from doing tactics that are going to hurt people's ability to vote. And it could be not just that. We need to make sure we have the vote centers in the right locations. We need to make sure that voters are not having to travel 5 miles in order just to vote. We need to make sure that the hours of operation are accurate, effective. We have voters that work. They get off. They need time to go vote. We need to make sure we have after-hour voting. We have voting on weekends. We need to do everything we can to ensure that everyone has that opportunity to vote. So, Mr. Chair, I know I can be on my soapbox for a long time. I'll turn it right back over to you.
Yeah.
A lot going on in Maricopa County. We got a lot in front of us in 2026, and we need to continue to have these open discussions.
It looks like Deanna has a question for you, but before I get to that, I am hoping that as the election gets nearer, we can count on you to provide us with opportunities to watch the polls and volunteer to be poll workers and all that good stuff. On top of that, we're going to need all hands on deck, registering voters and turning people out to vote so that we can win so overwhelmingly that when they try to play their games, it won't be enough. So, Deanna, did you have a question for County Supervisor?
Yes, I actually did. It's so funny that you're here at this meeting because I was going to email you and ask you if you could help me open up an election site near my school, but that's not my question regarding your point, Steve. My question is, because Trump has a lot of sway with who got in place for our county recorder, Justin Heath. But who is going to run after him? Because I really do think that we need to start planning ahead.
Oh, you mean, and you're talking 2028, 2028 when he's up for reelection? You bet. No, I think that is a very excellent question. I think that's something that we need to continue to. These are the thought process we need to know. We already know Mr. Heap is going to be up in 2028. We need to make sure. And okay, we're amongst family here, so I'm just going to say this, guys, because this is true. And not that I'm criticizing or anything like that, but I think as a party, we really need to be very proactive. We should start thinking. I know we have a lot in front of us in 2026, but it seems to me sometimes we don't even have a candidate until right in 2028. It looks like it's we saw it, unfortunately, a couple of years ago. We need to make sure we have our candidates lined up. Let's start training these candidates. Start identifying potential candidates at all our countywide offices. Let's start identifying these candidates. That's a very valid point. This is, even though most of the conduct of election is under the Board of Supervisors, voter registration, which is key, voter registration, early ballot verification, all that stuff falls under the recorder. And that's what gets me scared, because I know the increase of early voting, like 85% of the ballots cast are going to be by mail. Are going to be folks I vote by mail. It's going to be vote by mail. So how do we make sure that the process that he has in front of him is transparent? It is fair. It is accurate. We're upholding our state laws and our Constitution, that valid ballots are not being thrown out. So that's the task we have in front of them. But you're absolutely right. We should, and let's not be afraid to start thinking in 2028, who are we going to have running as our county recorder? We should really start having that discussion now. And to answer your question about the vote centers, there'll be a time, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, invite me. I will always be here at LD 11. I'm in LD 24, but I'll be. This is my constituency as well. It's my district, so I'll come. But Mr. Chairman, I would ask, as we get closer to 2026, to be able to come before your legislative district and have, before we vote on the vote center model and plan where the vote centers are, that we all be able to look at it. Is there something that I'm missing? Is there a place that we should have a vote center? Diana mentioned there's a location by her school or one of the schools. Maybe that is a site we need to look at. But I will come back, Mr. Chairman, if it's all okay with you, at some point to show the map. This is the map. These are where the vote centers are going to be for the primary. These are the vote centers going to be for the general. And let's make sure that we have every area covered. The last thing we want to do is disenfranchise voters. And I'll say this one last thing before I go, Mr. Chairman. I've always said this. I said this in the legislature when I was in the House and the Senate, and I continue to say that every vote counts. We all agree that. But if one voter is disenfranchised, Mr. Chairman, that's one voter too many. That's the benchmark we should have here in the state of Arizona. One voter disenfranchised, that's one too many. Let's make sure that all voters have the ability to have free access to the ballot box. Like I said, It's the most fundamental right we have as a citizen is the right to vote. And we're not going to let Mr. Heap or anyone else disenfranchise any of our voters.
Yep, I 100% agree with that. And one thing I always say to people when they say their vote doesn't matter is I say, well, then convince your neighbor to vote too. Now your vote counts twice. Get off your ass and go talk to your neighbors. All right, we have two guests. Thank you so much. By the way, Steve Gallardo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate
it. Definitely appreciate you coming back.
I appreciate this, Chair.
Thank you. We have our guests, Sarah and Riley, who have been waiting patiently. They are from Medicare for All, and they have a presentation. Patrick, Riley will be doing the PowerPoint side of things, so you may need to approve them sharing their screen. And Sarah, if you want to begin your presentation. We really appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your patience.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate being here. Really, really happy to be invited to come. Shout out to Riley, who's here with me, who is my colleague and with NNU. So yes, let's share our slides. Riley, do you want to share since you were made, or I can, either way.
I'm happy to. I do have them pulled up if you'd like. Yeah.
Well, apologies. Yvette told me that Riley would be sharing the presentation while Sarah spoke.
I can
Didn't mean
try.
to cut you off guard.
Let me see. Let's see. Okay, so I shared, I don't know, just let me know if you're seeing the slides correctly or.
They're up. I've got them shared.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. So yeah, I'm a retired registered nurse. I live in Tucson and I'm in LD 20. And I'm also a community volunteer organizer with the National Nurses United, and Riley's with National Nurses United. I'm really happy to be here to be talking with you about the work we're doing in collaboration with many local grassroots organizations, and including the Arizona Medicare for All Coalition. And our goal is to increase support for Medicare for All in Arizona and across the country. And this is ahead of the Medicare for All bill reintroduction that will be happening, or we're hoping early in the new year. This presentation will be about 10 minutes. There's a lot to talk about, so we'll jump right in, and then hopefully we'll have some time for a few questions too, if anyone has questions at the end. National Nurses United. So who are we? Why are we here talking with you this evening? And then we'll talk a little bit about why we're building this movement, and then we'll move into what we're up against to pass Medicare for All and how you can plug into the campaign. So National Nurses United is really the largest union and professional organization of bedside nurses in the United States, representing more than 225,000 registered nurses across the country. NNU was formed in 2009 as a federation of multiple state nurses unions as a way for nurses to take the fight for better conditions for both nurses and patients national. We understand that our fights at the bargaining table are not just about our nurses. They're about the communities our nurses belong to and serve. We know everybody, regardless of whether we're rich or poor, where we live, what language we speak, what we believe, we will be a patient at some point in our lives. And that is why nurses are fighting for issues that impact them and the health of all of us, health and well-being of all of us, from safe staffing to Medicare for all. The photos on this slide represent some of the major failings that we probably are all pretty aware of our healthcare system, and the principles that Medicare for All correspond to. And tonight we'll just cover a few of these failings. So the first one we'll look at is that our system is not universal. We know that 27 million people in this country have no health insurance at all, with as many as 17 million more at risk of losing theirs because of the Trump tax cuts that passed earlier this year that we all have heard about. The next failing is that our system is way too expensive. As a country, we spend twice as much per capita on healthcare as most other industrialized countries in the world. And these are countries which guarantee healthcare to their people. Premiums, deductibles, co-pays, they continue to make healthcare way too expensive, even for people with insurance. And these higher costs are completely avoidable, which is where Medicare for All comes in. And if you want a sense of how inefficient our current system is, 1 in every $3 spent on healthcare is wasted on bureaucracy, and not spent directly on care. So that's how we can afford to guarantee care to everyone while expanding benefits. Our system is just that inefficient. And the final failing that we'll take a look at is that our system prioritizes the few over the many. CEO and shareholder profits are valued over patient care. The wealthiest never struggle getting the best care in the world, while the working class struggles to get any care at all. Medicare for All prioritizes the many over the few, not just by making healthcare for all, but in other ways as well. So we've really made a lot of progress organizing behind the Medicare for All bills in Congress and the Senate. And we've been able to secure the support of the majority of the House Democratic Caucus. And in addition, our union, along with a number of allied national organizations, has been leading a really robust grassroots campaign to build support for the legislation. And we have challenges. Despite the progress we've made in pushing Medicare for All, we have a very difficult political climate we're battling right now. Not only is the far right advancing its efforts to roll back people's health care, as we know, but the corporate healthcare industry continues to lobby against any amount of progress. And while we have made inroads in building Democratic support in Congress for the Medicare for All, a large portion of the caucus, especially in the Senate, is still not on board. Almost all Democrats believe that everybody should have health care, but once you get into the policy weeds, it becomes pretty easy for the insurance, drug, and hospital corporations to mislead people into thinking that Medicare for All will somehow take away their freedom. Even though the current system does those things, and Medicare for All guarantees care and freedom to choose your care provider. We tend to see alternative proposals come up that just don't really accomplish what Medicare for All will. And this seems like an attempt to divide public support and redirect it away from Medicare for All. These reforms, like a public option, don't address the root causes of our healthcare system's issues, and in some cases even can make them worse. The good news is none of these challenges is insurmountable. So we know that challenges can be overcome. We've seen this done in the past. Advocates for the original Medicare program faced the exact same challenges that we face today, from intense lobbying from the American Medical Association to the Democratic chair of the House Ways and Means Committee blocking advancement of Medicare, to Republicans constantly trying to redirect support to proposals that would not fix the problem. In the 1960s, advocates were able to break ideological resistance by unifying the public against the AMA, American Medical Association, by portraying their defense of the current system as extreme and immoral. They were able to work with the candidate, that was President LBJ, along with community groups and organized labor, to elect a strong Medicare majority into Congress. They united the public behind Medicare, and it worked. They successfully overcame these obstacles and passed Medicare. We feel we can do the same for Medicare for All. In order to overcome our corporate opposition and to win, we need to build the same kind of strong grassroots movement that existed for traditional Medicare in the 1960s. And part of that work is why I'm here tonight. We need to continue to build support for Medicare for All in communities all across the country and bring more people into the movement. The goal is not only to build more support in communities across the country, but also to build support within the Democratic caucus in Congress and in the US Senate. Earlier tonight, I mentioned the healthcare cuts, massive cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and the Affordable Care Act happening this year, soon, as a result of Trump and the Republicans in Congress. An estimated 17 million additional people expected to lose their health coverage in the coming year. And again, on top of that, 27 million already uninsured. So Democrats, we have an opportunity to lead, not just to fight back against these attacks, but to support a real solution that will actually make a difference in working people's lives. And Democrats, as Democrats, we should lead the charge on Medicare for All, not just because it's a really good idea, but it's also really popular. Nobody loves insurance companies, and most people agree that healthcare should really be a human right. If Democrats want to recapture the support of working people and to stop the far right, leading on programs like Medicare for All is how we can do that. And third, we're focused on reducing the influence of the corporate healthcare industry in Washington, D.C., that is really preventing Medicare for All from passage. We're continuing our work on the Patients Over Profits Pledge. That's one way to get involved. And this is where we ask sitting elected officials and candidates for office at all levels, really, to pledge not to accept money from the for-profit healthcare industry. One of our 350 proud signers is Mayor-elect Zoran Mandami, who you have heard, I'm sure you've heard, just won the race to be mayor of New York City. There he is. Okay. So to close, I just want to touch on some of the ways you can join us. NNU, National Nurses United, has identified freshman Democrats who are not yet co-sponsors of Medicare for All, but whom we think would be willing to sign on after hearing from their constituents, as well as one senator, Senator Ruben Gallego. He was a co-sponsor of Medicare for All in 2019, 2021, and 2023 when he was in the House of Representatives. But he's not signed on yet to the Senate bill. So Senator Ruben Gallego, yeah, we're focusing on giving presentations about this campaign in the state of Arizona currently because we're working toward a legislative visit with allied organizations and Senator Gallego in the coming months, and we hope that you all will be interested in joining us. So far, we've either completed or have scheduled a total of 14 presentations to LDs, county parties, and local grassroots organizations. For more information about Medicare for All legislation and our campaign and to sign up and to join us in our efforts, please visit our link tree that's on the slide. We can also put that in the chat. And we hope the Progressive Caucus will endorse our campaign and join this grassroots movement. Lastly, I just want to finish up thanking you all so much for having me and having Riley and I here tonight. Medicare for All is an issue near and dear to the hearts of our nurses, and we won't stop fighting until we win it. But it's going to take more than us nurses. It's going to take teachers, firefighters, restaurant workers, small business owners, activists, organizers, students, everybody that believes healthcare must be a human right. So I hope you'll join us in this fight, and I know together we will win. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Riley, did you have anything to add? We had one question in the chat that I want to read. Elizabeth Douglas. Oh, go ahead, Riley.
I was just going to say, just for context for everybody, so Sarah's one of our nurses, a retired nurse from our union, who we have helped train and has so graciously taken on this nurse presentation program that was mentioned. And I am a staffer with NNU, so I'm really just here to help support. If there are questions that Sarah wants me to field or whatever, I'm happy to do so. But yeah, I'll pass it to Sarah to kind of do the Q&A.
Okay, first question here. Elizabeth Douglas asks, what does Medicare for All actually look like? Medicare pays 80% of reasonable and customary, and I pay for it out of my Social Security check and still need Medigap and prescription coverage.
Yeah, that's right. Riley, you want to take this one, or?
Yeah, I'm happy to kind of jump in on these. So, yeah, one of the things I would kind of say first off is that, like, with the Medicare for All program, we first want to improve and expand the benefits. So we first improve upon the current Medicare program. Oftentimes, we'll hear people say, "Oh, well, Medicare just doesn't do enough, right?" And Medicare doesn't do enough for me and my family or the retired ones, and is very true, right? It does not cover dental, vision, long-term care, etc. And so under Medicare for All, that's the very first thing we do is improve the embedded benefits to include things like vision, dental, long-term care, your eyes, things that we would think should be covered by our healthcare currently, but sometimes get parsed out, right? And then all necessary care that is determined by you and your doctor, and that those two folks alone is covered, right? So if your doctor says that something is necessary or that you need something, it's covered. We don't have to go through the current program that we have right now where, insurance can block and deny things. So I hope that answers part of kind of like what the first part. And yeah, the way in which Medicare for All would be paid for, the first way that I like to kind of answer that question is that it's really important to understand that Medicare for All, both nationally and in some cases state levels, is cheaper than our current healthcare system, meaning we will save money under a Medicare for All system. So it will overall cost less and we will cover more people, right? As of right now, and this was one of the graphs that was in there, our care can cost somewhere between $10,000 and $12,000 per person per year, and we don't even cover everyone, right? And so we leave out millions of people in our healthcare system every year. And other countries are able to do cover every single person for about half the cost. And so there's a huge and kind of an almost unfathomable amount of money that can be saved by cutting out the administrative waste and the bureaucracy that exists within the insurance system. And all of that money gets moved to direct patient care, right? Things that will actually go towards caring for patients in the hospital. And so, yeah, that's, the nurses' sort of solution to the healthcare crisis that we're facing. And when they live and breathe and experience this every day, the number one thing that prevents people from getting care is money, right? And so by removing those barriers to care, we can get more people care and save money by doing so. I hope that answers your question. There's a lot of proposals on how to actually pay for it via payroll tax, via this, that. We've put a bunch of those forward. It really kind of does also come to be a political decision about how you want to break up the tax code. And that is, we often say, is not, that's something that will be written in the sort of, final funding stages of the bill. But I can talk for hours about that stuff. It's just kind of very wonky and separated. Anyway.
Thank you. Thank you for the great question. Do we have any other questions for Sarah Riley? I personally support Medicare for All. I think it's a great idea. I really appreciate that Biden was able to negotiate down some drug prices on behalf of Medicare. Wish we could get those prices for everybody, and we'll just get Medicare for everybody. So thank you both so much for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for inviting us. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Did you have a closing statement, Riley? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we really would look forward to you all joining us in this campaign to put support on your senator there, and Ruben Gallego. And we will be planning a legislative visit in the new year. There is a whole coalition, which I'm sure some of you on this call are familiar with, that has been working on single payer. And so, we'd just love to have more folks be involved and engaged. We're going to potentially start driving phone calls to his office, doing all sorts of fun things like that. So do stay on the look, and either myself or someone else from our campaign and Sarah will be in touch.
Cool. And Riley put a link in the chat it's a link tree, so that is a link to more links to important information and programs, I'm sure. Riley, got to represent NASA, like your shirt.
I went for something red, and I love it too. So
I went for something warm.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for having us.
Thank you
Have
both.
a good rest of your evening.
Thank you both. Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right. We are nearing the end of our meeting here. I'm going to open the floor if there's any old business or new business. I do know we had one guest, Luke Douglas, who wanted to introduce some new business. So if anyone else has business they want to share, I'll let Luke go first. And if anyone else wants to share, go ahead and raise your hand in Zoom there. But Luke, the floor is yours.
I appreciate the floor time. I was actually able to connect with Councilmember Hodge Washington, and I think we can continue the conversation you and I were having just through person-to-person channels.
Oh,
and if
okay.
people want to know generally what the issue is, I can quickly summarize it. So, everybody, I serve on the Citizens Transportation Commission of the City of Phoenix. Councilmember Hodge Washington gets one, as do each council member get one nominee, essentially, to be on the commission so that all the districts are represented. So I represent most of you, except for those of you who live in Councilmember Hernandez's district. But right now we have a pending issue before it was just voted on in commission. It's going to the subcommittee on transportation and infrastructure. And from there, it will go to the mayor and council on whether we are going to pursue in the near term the light rail extension to serve the state capitol and on out to the west to connect with the I-10 corridor. There are two options. Both are, as I understand, intended to achieve the end of that capital extension happening. But I know Councilmember Hodge Washington is soliciting feedback and receiving briefings and all of the things that need to go down before she'll be casting her vote in, I want to say, January. And all of the council.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm a supporter of public transportation. The more, the better. That new light rail would run right by my house, so that'd be cool. I mean, I walk downtown. It's 2 miles. I enjoy the walk, but sometimes I got to pay for a scooter to get home because I don't want to walk anymore. So light rail would be cool if it ran right past my house. I would appreciate that. I don't see any other hands up. Thank you, Luke, for sharing. We'll be in further discussions, I hope.
For all your street transportation and public transit specific needs, if you need to reach out as a constituent.
Perfect. Luke put his email in the chat. Elizabeth says, who is in charge of 59th Avenue between Baseline and South Mountain? Do you know which city council district that's in?
That would be 7.
7? That's Keisha, right?
No, that is
Anna
Hernandez.
Okay.
That's what Yasmin left to run for Congress.
Okay. That's my district. I should know that. All right. Anna Hernandez, Elizabeth, to answer your question. Perfect. And Patrick put a link for more light rail information in the chat as well. Cool. If there are no other questions or comments for the greater good, I will go ahead. We can open the floor to any announcements that may be necessary. You get 60 seconds if you have an announcement. Going once, going twice. All right, we're going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting. So motion to adjourn. Can I get a second? Oh, hold up. Before anyone seconds that, we do have an opening for state committee member. Any PC in the district can become a state committee member. We have one opening. If we have more than one interested party, we will hold a vote. Raise your hand or put in the chat if you're interested. I see one name, Mitchell Billion. I saw Mahogany raise her hand on camera. Fern is nominating Sandra Kennedy. Deanna, so we have 4 people. Patrick, do you want to chime in and tell me how to facilitate this kind of vote?
Yeah, so this would just be basically a formal vote. So, oh man, you kept putting me in a spot. It's fine. No, it's okay. So basically, we just need to have a motion to open the floor for the election of a state committee member. At this point, we open up for nominations. People can raise their hand, pick folks, and from that point, it's up to the chair's discretion. If you want to give them an opportunity to say something, you can. If you just want to take it to, closed nominations, you can, and then just take it to a vote.
Okay. Well,
so just to speed this thing along, Mr. Chair, I move to open the floor to nominations for the open state committee member seat.
Okay, second. So moved.
Oh, you need a second?
Somebody's second.
Any PC can second it.
Anyone want to second the vote?
Mr. Chair,
I'll
Mahogany
second
Kennedy
it.
second.
Okay, so
The
moved.
Battle of the Kennedys.
So at this point, floor is open. The chair, you can recognize folks to nominate, and then at that point, once either people run out of gas, we can close the floor to nominations and then go from there.
Okay, well, we will go ahead and open the floor to nominations. You can nominate yourselves. Please raise your hand if you wish to nominate someone and or yourself. I see one hand up already. So Deanna, I recognize you. Looks like Deanna's camera might have frozen. We'll come back to. Nope, there she is. Deanna, you want to come off of mute?
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
You know what? I think my hand, I wanted to ask what a state committee member was and what they did. Yeah.
Excellent.
First meeting.
So,
I'm not.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So any PC can become a state committee member where you're an elected PC or appointed. State committee members get to go to the Arizona Democratic Party meetings. I mean, those meetings are open to anyone, but only state committee members get to vote on board members, bylaws, and anything else that may come up for a vote at state committee. Now, state committee meetings are not always here in the seat of power, Maricopa. In fact, our next one is in Yuma. And if you cannot make it to a meeting, we would ask you to select a proxy. And the process of appointing a proxy does involve having a notary sign your proxy documentation. So it can be a bit involved, but I should point out as well that if you miss 3 or more meetings as a state committee member, we can remove you. 3 consecutive meetings, I should say. If you miss 3 or more and don't appoint a proxy, we can remove you, which is how this opening came about. So please, I hope that answers your question, Deanna. Thank you. Okay, anyone? I see Isaac's hand is up. Isaac, did you wish to nominate?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, I just saw Fern's message in the chat saying that her camera and microphone is not working. So on behalf of her, I will nominate the Honorable Sandra Kennedy to be our next state committee member. I mean, I think her proven history and leadership, it speaks for itself. Her time throughout the state legislature as a state representative and a senator, elected to the Arizona Corporation Commission, also a Phoenix Union governing board member, which everyone knows that I care deeply about. She has really rooted herself when she was, in the legislature and on the commission about grounding and making sure that, these big time companies have oversight when it comes to pricing and affordability for our community members. And she made sure that she stood up for fair working wages, also fair utility rights, which I think is a huge issue that we don't talk about. But especially for our young people that are in positions like me, that take care of a little 2-year-old, that takes care of their wife and still are making it happen. So those are issues we have to really ground ourselves in. And I know that if we send her to represent all of us on behalf of the Arizona Democratic Party, that she will be the proven leader we need and continuously. And she will definitely make the right decisions in her voting actions, not just based off of what she thinks, but solely off of the community in LD11. So definitely, I urge everyone to support her. And also, if you can, I know Jacob just sent a message in the chat, definitely make it out to Yuma. If you don't have a ride, say something. I know there's plenty of people who are in organizations who are sending people up to the ADP's state committee meetings. So definitely stay intact with that. But thank you guys. That's all I wanted to jump on to say.
Awesome. Thank you, Isaacs. Sandra, do you accept?
Well, I thank Mr. Young and I appreciate everything that he said, but I believe that I'm already a state committeeman.
Oh, are you a member of LD11?
I am.
I'll have to.
Mr.
Might
Chair, a
be.
lifelong member.
Oh,
I can
well,
take it
I'm
back
glad
to
to hear
when she
that.
was state representative of District 23, when this was District 23.
There you go. I moved into this LD 4 years ago and became a PC almost 3 years ago. Not even 3 years yet. So I am new. I apologize for our cherished veterans here in the district for not knowing. I'll have to double check the roster, but if you're already a PC, then we will not vote for you. I mean, already as a state committee member. But are there any other nominees? I know Mahogany, I know that you wanted to. Did you want to nominate yourself?
I would love to be a state committee person again. I served as a chair of this LD. I have been a PC for over, I'm telling my age, for over 25 years in this legislative district. I love serving my community, and it will be quite an honor and a pleasure to serve again in that capacity.
Okay. And I can confirm that Sandra is already a state committee member. So, Isaac, thank you for the glowing words for Sandra. And Mahogany, obviously nominated yourself, so you accept. Mitchell, I know that you had expressed some interest in becoming an SCM. Did you want to nominate yourself?
I would love to be involved. I do feel that if we have representation with Mahogany or any other PC that feels strongly about it, that is, I concede to Mahogany and her experience having done it before. When the opportunity came up, I want to express that now and in the future, I am, dedicated to the Democratic Party, and I'm certainly a longtime LD11 resident. I don't have the bona fides that some of these others have, but I do want to be involved, and I am very passionate about making sure that we do have all of our seats and all of our commitments filled. And so that's why I became a PC, and I will continue that. But I think for tonight, if Mahogany's happy, I'm happy with that, and we can go that direction.
Okay. Thank you. Is anyone else interested in nominating someone or nominating themselves? Going once, twice, 3 times a lady. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move to
yes.
Close nominations.
Thank you. You can tell I've never done this before, so I'm glad we don't have to facilitate a vote via Zoom because the logistics of doing that were.
Mr. Chair.
Although I had a plan.
I second the movement. Yes, Sandra. Oh, I thought you had something to say, Ms. Kennedy.
No, I was just saying, Mr. Chair, that I second the motion.
Oh, okay. So moved. We'll close nominations. Mahogany, thank you for stepping up.
One more process. I move to vote in Mahogany by acclamation.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I second.
We need to have, since you're the chair, you vote in the case of a tie or something.
I second.
There we go.
Okay, so moved.
And just all in favor, and we're good.
Oh, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I'm learning. This will be smoother next time, maybe. Depends on how long it is before we have to do it again. But thank you, Mahogany. Congratulations. We will see you in Yuma. And if anyone wants to carpool down to Yuma, we are going to try to organize something so we aren't all driving 18 separate cars to get to Yuma. And of course, these ADP meetings are open to everybody. So even if you're not a state committee member and you want to attend to see what happens, by all means, you're more than welcome to join. And I have nothing else for the meeting, so we can move to adjourn. Can I get a second?
I second. I second.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned. Appreciate it.
Good night.
Long meeting, but great meeting.